This is Trajano Roberto from Media Flamengo for mais post-game análise aí with our football expert Ross Felicia. Thanks, Ross, again for joining in.
Thank you, Trajano, and thanks for having me again. Pleasure to be back on.
That's good. Now we're gonna talk about last Flamengo game, home game. Flamengo 4 spot from a club from a state called Pernambuco 1. It's a game play in a Brazilian time was Sunday 4 p.m. and the Australian time was actually 5 a.m. on Monday. So it's a game that Flamengo played quite well in the second half and ended up winning the game 4-1. And Ross, what is your impression for the game?
Well, I managed to catch the match, and I was very impressed with the attacking display from Flamengo. You know, they created a high number of chances, and I felt watching the start of the match. Perhaps Flamengo, they did score first, but then they didn't really take their chances in the first half, and then for Sport to score straight after was a little bit disappointing.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but then in the second half, they really turned it on.
Correct, yeah. In the first half, I think Flamengo scored with, 13 minutes from the center defender, Rever. Should score more, but didn't. Towards the end of the first half, Cop goal from Sport and, draw the game. And Flamengo came back in the second half, firing all the cylinders and score a salvo 3 goals. And the second half, the Flamengo play was probably one of the best second halves in the year so far. And had some, some individual performance that, got together and pretty much controlled the entire game. And the Sport had no answers for the way Flamengo was playing. And moving the ball and with a lot of speed, high accuracy on the passing. And what else did you see, Ross, during the game?
Well, it was interesting for the manager to. I thought maybe he changed a bit of personnel. Putting the Colombian Marlos Moreno on the wing, and also I was very impressed with Everton Ribeiro. His performance, I thought clearly he was man of the match, and there was just an all-round brilliant performance capped off by a brilliant goal in the second half.
Yeah, no, that's a very good comment. He got a Moreno playing the left wing, and also he decided to send Paolo Guerrero to the bench, and I had the Colombia striker Uribe starting the game. That's probably changed a little bit. The team made a little bit more mobile, and as a lot of people know, this player Guerrero and his contract is expiring, I think next week, and his body language is terrible. He shows no commitment. I think that was a bit of lift for Flamengo to start the game without him, and that Uribe also scored a goal, and of course it was a mistake from Sports goalie, but that's ball the back of the net counts. What do you think about that, Ross?
Well, I was very impressed with Uribe's performance. Playing more in his preferred role. He linked up well. He has good control of the ball, and although yes, it was a mistake from the goalkeeper, hopefully that gives him the confidence to build on from here, Trajano.
Yeah, that's correct, Ross. And it's I guess as a striker, you're measured by how many goals you score, and so that's open. It's good for him to open his account, and hopefully now more goals to come. But what else you see positive for Flamengo, Ross, in that particular match?
Well, I thought what I was really impressed with was, they were really effective at creating the opportunities at goal. And, like I said in the first half, maybe they were ruining a few of the chances, but then really in that second half, it just really clicked. And like you said, I think throughout the whole season, that's the best Flamengo we have seen in the second half. They played amazing.
Yeah, that's right. It's a very good performance, and maybe we go down a little bit more in details, Ross, in terms of you know the stronger points, the Flamengo, what the weakness, what Flamengo did well in the game. I think was a few key things we can take from that match. I think one was. I think number of shots was unbelievable. How many shots Flamengo had? I'm not sure if you had that number there, Ross.
I think they had a total of 22 shots, which is a very high amount of shots.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and they also Flamengo had a large quantity of possession in their opponent's attacking in their opponent's half. It's particularly in the second half.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
really dominated possession and attacked through the middle, which I felt is really suited to the way this team plays.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially Everton Ribeiro. He even play on the right wing, but he always cuts to the middle.
He cuts inside,
He
yes.
cuts inside. He always goes inside, and I think his goal is a good example. And I guess by being a bit not the typical winger that fast go to the byline to put across. He just likes to finish, so he prefers to move into the middle. And I think this particular match, Flamengo 4, Sport 1, he plays extremely well because I guess he play his preferred position, but moving diagonal towards the goal and leaving open for the fullback to overlap. And sometimes the fullback just moving takes a defender away and give a bit more space for him. So it's good. But also in that this particular match, the passing accuracy was extremely high, and Flamengo's been making a lot of unforced errors on this particular match. I think was quite excellent. I'm not sure if you had the figures there, Ross.
Yes. Well, no, I don't have access to the figures, but you know, the set pieces I felt were is a strength. Especially the first goal was created from a corner, and as we know, Revere he's very strong at set pieces, and he bobbed up for that first goal, making his presence in the box, which he's as a defender he's very good at.
Yeah, that's right. He's been scoring few goals always. It's a bonus. You have a center back that score a few goals for your side, and he always adds. Towards the end of the season, you not only rely on the striker but on the defender to score goals is always nice. And I know despite a lot of Flamengo fans blame him on the goal they scored to score, where his position wasn't good. He didn't read the cross, and the Sport attacker behind his back hit with the head and scored the draw. And but I guess the second half performance by the other players erased Rever's mistake, because it's very hard to go 90 minutes without making any mistakes. Huh?
Yes. Well, I have to say there wasn't the goalkeeper for Flamengo Alves. He wasn't really, he didn't really have much to do apart from that goal. But I felt the defense, in particular the wing backs, they provided crosses and they played a bit more attacking. Wouldn't you say? Like I know you were crucial of Rodney and Rene of their attacking display, but I felt the attacking display was much better in this match.
Yeah, I think was another thing I noticed was the fast transition. Uh, from defense to attack, and even Diego Ribas being notorious being a you know hogs the ball too long. This game he's started to release the ball quicker. So it's always good when you attack the other side and they still disorganize. They try to make shape, and you if you catch the opposition disorganized, it's always find the space easier that way. I think that was probably the main strategy that the Flamengo utilized in the game, and I guess also when you score 2 or 3 goals, the opposition almost gives up because it's very hard to come back from 3 goals, especially playing away. And yeah, you could see the body language of this players for the sports not very nice and just almost heads down. And also the Maracanã Stadium was quite full. A lot of Flamengo supporters. They're all wearing red and black, and singing and chanting, and I think the Flamengo players
They re-
absorb that energy.
they really thrive on the passion that the fans give to them, and it just it shows on the pitch. They play with that motivation. It encourages the whole team, and you could see that. That's why Flamengo at home, a very dangerous proposition.
Yeah, it is, and I guess hopefully this performance uh, is something Flamengo to build upon. It's still top of the ladder, 2 points clear from São Paulo. That's chasing Flamengo. It's being top of the ladder is always hard because all the other clubs have a main target to be the leader, so it's not easy. But
It's very close at the top, like you said, Trejano. But it was very good to get a high scoring victory because the goal difference is superior, and that could come as a factor towards the end of the season, which
yeah,
which
it's
for
good.
which
Yeah, it's a good point. And yeah, the first criteria is a number of victories, but on top of the ladder, all the clubs got a very close number of victories. But in the next criteria is goal difference, and that's very important to make sure that you score a lot of goals, and so you got a bit of extra bonus just in case if São Paulo catch Flamengo and they all both clubs have the same amount of points. But well, going back a little bit more to the game, Ross, any other observations there, any other stats do you think that is important to note?
you know well is I did see that the pass success was at 92%, and that's very impressive for a team. You know, to have that success for passes, and Flamengo is a team that likes to pass the ball around and then create the opportunity, and they did it so well, in particular in that second half.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, second half was actually halfway through the second half. I think Flamengo kept possession for almost 3 minutes and just rotate the ball from diagonal from left to right through the central defenders and also midfield and back to the defenders, back to the full backs. So the ball circulation was close to perfection, and to have this high accuracy in the passing, it's unbelievable at that level. Because first is even with the sport putting a lot of pressure, Flamengo's moving the ball and find a free man to receive the ball and pass to another free man. So the movement off the ball was excellent. And the passing accuracy was even better. So it's very hard to beat. And also some good players like Everton Ribeiro and even Paquetá that the previous game has been committing a lot of unforced errors. This match he was quite good and score a goal and maybe could have scored another one or two if he had a bit more accuracy on this final shot. And but overall, I guess the stats you can look, they're all looking good, Ross.
Yes, well, I guess the only thing we could say is the total shots, 22 shots, but only nine of them being on target. If we were to be critical, would you say maybe the shot accuracy on goal needs a little bit of working? What would you think, Trajano?
Yeah, no, I agree because if you say the passing accuracy was 92% and the shots on target should be less than 50%. So really, if you want to aspire to be, we lift the trophy at the end of the season, you got to improve in this department, shots on target, because if you can shoot all day, if you don't hit the target, you're just wasting time. You really gotta make the opposition goalie to work.
Yeah, and you could tell in the first half it was a little frustrating at times. I mean, look, they were getting in the right positions and everything, and the attacking play was working, but they just couldn't get that ball on target.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess with a bit more fast moving the ball, that's very important because when you catch the opposition, disorganized, that's when you find space to shoot. That's pretty much what Everton Ribeiro did. The ball move around and he received a pass and he just kick on the top left corner of the goalies with no chance. And so it was a very good example at if your accuracy and with a bit of power is unstoppable. And Ross, what about that uh, last goal from Uribe where he controlled the chest, half volley? I know the sports goalie made a mistake, but I think it was a very good ball control and hit with the ball still in the air. What do you think about that?
You know, Uribe, he's got that reputation. He's he's got very good ball control, and we've seen glimpses of that. And yes, you're right. Perhaps the goal will go down to a goalkeeping error, but I have to say the build up to that goal it was fabulous the way he controlled the ball down, and he got that goal. And sometimes you just need that luck, and that's he got that luck to open his account. And I think really got to persist with him. As you said, Guerrero, I feel as though, and a lot of Flamengo supporters like yourself would feel the same. He's a thing of the past, and you got to just persist with Uribe. And I just want to ask you, Trejano, with the starting lineup, the manager Mauricio Barbieri, he seems to change it up a bit, but do you feel as though he's got the right balance now?
Yeah, I think so. It's for instance, there was pretty much two positions there, open for grabs. So one was the left wing. The Mauricio has three players at his disposal. One is Mateo Savio, had a good game against Botafogo, but the next game against Santos, he was very, very poor. And second choice would be Giovanni. He's a player that is on loan from a Chinese club. He's on very high wages, but is very useless player. He has no clue what he's doing. He's lost. Very bad player that waste of money. And like another third choice would be Moreno, that has some serious psychological problems. That he, was sold to Manchester City and went there to Europe. Was on loan to some clubs in Spain. Came back very, the heads down. And he also had this, not sure how many girlfriends or partners in Colombia and how many children. I think it's more than three or four. I think he has more children than goals in his career. And so he had a chance. Also, he was play one game, he gets injured, he's very unreliable. But so he took his chance. And the second was between Uribe and Guerrero, but Guerrero has been very poor. So Uribe took a chance and started the game. And but for the next game, Flamengo has signed a Brazilian player was playing Russia called Vitinho. He's play normally, as a second striker behind the main striker in a typical 4-4-2 formation. But Barbieri likes the 4-1-4-1. They likes to play with one defensive midfielder and four in the midfield. They one on the left and like Everton Ribeiro. He plays on the right wing, but he plays more as a midfielder. And so Noren was playing on the next to the striker, but he was coming back, to make a line of four plays in midfield. Now Vitinho is a player that normally doesn't come back, to play compact. You'll see how Mauricio Barbieri he's gonna set up the Flamengo for the next match. But it's Moreno most likely is gonna go back to the bench, and because Vitinho, Flamengo paid a lot of money. Not pay a lot of money is, when they decided to accept the contract termination with Vinicius Junior with Real Madrid, Flamengo received a piece of paper with some euros there, and I had to shop around and spend that money. It was like some credit. It was not necessarily cash; it's just a piece of paper. So that's what Flamengo decided to spend some of that credit with Russian club to bring Vitinho, and because Flamengo technically spend a lot of money, most likely he has to start the game. Otherwise, it would be very, very hard to justify. So I think the next game Flamengo is going to play is go against the Grêmio in the Brazilian Cup on Wednesday, Brazilian time. And you'll see how it goes. But for us, Ross, to finish up this post-game analysis, Flamengo 4, Sport 1, any final commentary there for you, your impressions there, any other aspect of the game that you have observed or you want to state to the listeners, and hopefully the ones that always switch on the YouTube channel Media Flamengo and listen to this commentary, this post-game analysis about Flamengo's game in English. Is only in the first channel in the world that offers commentary, Flamengo commentary in English. And your final comments, please, Ross.
Well, I just want to point out before we leave, Trajano, that I feel as though Flamengo's season is really going to be won on. We know how they perform at home. Very strong in front of the fanatical supporters, but the matches away, that's what's going to win us the title. And in matches to come, they're going to have to get those harder felt victories, because the way that Flamengo are playing at home, I have to say they really feed off the crowd and the energy, and that match just played amazing, and it's just very exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the home form is been quite good. I mean, very hard to say that to be unbeatable, but with the energy from the crowd and Flamengo, push and most likely, win the games. But you're quite right. The away form is the term. If Flamengo is championship material or not, but it's very important to not lose away. And a draw, it's probably a not bad result. We have to strive for a win. And it's not always easy. Some players, play in a different stadium, feel a little bit different, or might feel nervous or different environment. How those people are sometimes. They away from home, the muscle get a bit tight. They start making mistakes, get nervous. But that's when championship teams are made, and the ones that can play away and still get the results. And all right, Ross, thanks again for joining in for this post-game analysis.
Thank you very much for having me, Trajano, and I will keep up to date. Looking forward to the next cup match. Hopefully, Flamengo can have a really long cup run and hopefully win some silverware.
That's it. Nação, that's Trajano Roberto from Media Flamengo for one more post-game analysis. Flamengo 4, Sport 1 is 2018 Brazilian League, Serie A, and Flamengo continue on the top of the ladder, 2 points clear of São Paulo. And next league game next Sunday, and away game against Grêmio, and also Flamengo has a midweek game against Grêmio, but this time against on the Brazilian Cup. So 2 games in a row against Grêmio, one Brazilian Cup, and the other one on Sunday, Brazilian League. That's all. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully enjoy. And to everyone watching, have a great time.